The guards grabbed his arm just as his little girl started to cry, and that's when everything changed. Before we go any further, take a moment. If stories about courage, truth, and unexpected heroes move you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss what happens next. The lobby was polished to perfection, marble floors gleaming under golden lights, people dressed in suits that probably cost more than most families earned in months. It was the kind of place where every detail whispered power, status, and control. And standing right in the middle of it, looking completely out of place, was Daniel. His shirt was clean but worn at the collar. His shoes had seen better days. And in his arms, clutching tightly to his neck, was his 5-year-old daughter, Lily. Her small fingers trembled as she buried her face into his shoulder, sensing the tension even if she didn't fully understand it. "I said you need to leave," one of the security guards repeated, his voice firm, cold, practiced. "This is a private event." Daniel swallowed hard. He wasn't here to cause trouble. He wasn't here to beg. He was here because he had been invited, though proving that seemed impossible now. "I have a letter," he said, his voice steady but quiet. "I was told to come. It's important." The guard barely glanced at the crumpled envelope in Daniel's hand. "Sir, we get people like you all the time. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. People like you." The words stung more than Daniel expected. He'd heard them before, in different forms, in different places. Ever since his life had fallen apart 2 years ago, those invisible labels had followed him everywhere. Lily shifted in his arms. "Daddy, are we in trouble?" she whispered. Daniel's heart broke a little. "No, sweetheart," he murmured, gently brushing her hair. "Everything's okay." But it wasn't. Not yet. 2 years earlier, Daniel had been a completely different man. He had a steady job as a mechanic, a small but cozy home, and a wife who filled their lives with laughter. But life doesn't always ask for permission before it changes everything. The accident came without warning. A late-night call, a hospital hallway, a doctor's expression that said everything before the words even came. After that, it was just Daniel and Lily. Grief didn't come alone. It brought bills, sleepless nights, and a kind of loneliness that echoed in every corner of their home. Daniel tried to hold it together. He worked longer hours, took extra shifts, did whatever he could to keep their lives from completely falling apart. But then the shop closed down. And suddenly, trying wasn't enough anymore. Weeks turned into months of struggle. Rent piled up, food became something to carefully ration. Daniel sold what he could, sacrificed what he could, but he never let Lily see just how bad things had gotten. Until today. A week ago, a letter had arrived. No return address, just his name written neatly on the front. Inside was a formal invitation to a prestigious event, a charity gala hosted by some of the most powerful figures in the city. At first, Daniel thought it had to be a mistake. But there, printed clearly, was his name. And at the bottom, a short handwritten note. "Your presence matters more than you realize." Daniel didn't understand it, but something about it felt important. Like a door slightly open in a long wall of closed ones. So he came, not for himself, but for Lily. Back in the lobby, the situation was escalating. "Sir, this is your final warning," the second guard said, stepping closer. "If you don't leave, we'll escort you out." Daniel tightened his hold on Lily. He could feel her fear now, small and trembling. "I'm not trying to cause trouble," he said, his voice cracking just slightly. "Please, just let me speak to someone in charge." Anyone. But the guards had already made up their minds. One of them reached for Daniel's arm. And that's when a clear, firm voice cut through the tension. "Stop." Everything froze. The guards turned. The crowd nearby shifted, whispers spreading like ripples. A young woman stepped forward, her presence commanding attention without effort. She was dressed elegantly, but there was nothing distant or cold about her expression, only sharp awareness and quiet strength. "Let him go," she said. The guards hesitated. "Miss, this man," I said. "Let him go." Reluctantly, they released Daniel. The woman turned her gaze to him, then to Lily. Something softened in her eyes. "What's your name?" she asked gently. "Daniel," he replied. "And this is Lily." She nodded. "I'm Emma." There was a pause, one of those rare moments where the world seems to hold its breath. Then Emma looked at the guards. "Do you know who he is?" They exchanged confused glances. "No, miss." Emma took a slow breath. "Then maybe you should listen before you decide he doesn't belong here." The room grew quieter. Emma stepped closer to Daniel. "You received a letter, didn't you?" Daniel blinked, surprised. Yes, I did. I sent it. Now the confusion wasn't just on the guards' faces, it spread through the entire room. Daniel stared at her. You did. Emma nodded. 2 years ago, during a storm, my car broke down on the highway. It was late, and I was alone. No signal, no help. Then your truck pulled over. Daniel's memory flickered. A rainy night, hazard lights, a stranded car. I remember, he said slowly. You didn't know who I was, Emma continued. You didn't ask. You just helped. You stayed in the rain for over an hour fixing my car. And when I tried to pay you, you refused. Daniel shrugged slightly. It was the right thing to do. Emma smiled faintly. You also gave me your jacket because I was freezing. Lily looked up at her dad. You didn't tell me that story. Daniel chuckled softly. Guess I forgot. Emma turned to the crowd now. What he didn't know is that I'm the daughter of the man hosting this event. A murmur spread instantly. I never forgot that night, she said. Because in a world where people measure worth by status, money, and appearances, he didn't care about any of that. He just helped. She looked back at the guards. And now you're trying to throw him out because of how he looks. The guards shifted uncomfortably. Emma's voice softened again as she faced Daniel. I've been trying to find you for months. When I finally did, I sent that letter. I wanted you here tonight, because this event isn't just about charity. It's about recognizing real character. Daniel didn't know what to say. For so long, life had made him feel invisible. Like no matter how hard he tried, it didn't matter. And now, suddenly, someone saw him. Really saw him. Emma reached into her bag and handed him another envelope. This isn't charity, she said quietly. It's an opportunity. A job at one of our company's workshops. Stable pay, benefits, a chance to rebuild. Daniel's hands trembled as he took it. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Emma replied. You already proved who you are. Lily looked up at her dad, eyes shining. Does this mean everything's going to be okay? Daniel knelt down, pulling her into a hug. Yeah, sweetheart, he whispered. I think it is. The room, once filled with judgment, now held something very different. Respect, understanding, maybe even a little shame. Emma turned back to the crowd. Next time you see someone who doesn't fit, maybe ask their story before you decide their worth. And just like that, everything had changed. Daniel walked into that building feeling like he didn't belong. But he walked out with something far greater than acceptance. He walked out with hope. And sometimes, all it takes is one voice, one truth, to remind the world that dignity isn't defined by appearances, and kindness always finds its way back. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because stories like this aren't just meant to be watched, they're meant to be remembered.